Welcome students. Today we are dealing with reproduction in organisms part 4. In this we will deal with post-fertilization events. Post-fertilization events. They take place after the formation of zygote. So in the last class we studied about formation of zygote. The events which take place after formation of zygote are called post-fertilization events. Now what is a zygote? It is a diploid in all sexually reproducing organisms. So zygote is always diploid. It has 2n or double number of chromosomes. Development of zygote depends on type of life cycle of organism. So how the zygote will develop in future? It will depend on life cycle. For example, in fungi and algae, zygote develop a thick wall resistant to desiccation and damage. So in these organisms, the zygote develops a thick wall which protects it from desiccation or drying up, because we know that these organisms require moisture. Zygote undergoes a period of rest before germination. So before germinating or producing a new organism, zygote undergoes a period of rest. Why? It is for development. In organisms with haplontic life cycle, means the organisms which have the main plant body as haploid or N, the zygote divides by meiosis. So when the zygote is formed, it divides by meiosis and it forms haploid spores. These spores grow or germinate to produce haploid individuals. So organisms which are haploid in their body, they produce cells by meiosis. Zygote is an important link that ensures continuity of species. So zygote is an important connection. It ensures that the species continues to the next generation. In this figure we can see haplontic life cycle. So different plant groups differ in pattern of alternation of generations. In haplontic life cycle, the sporophytic generation, sporophyte is the main body, is represented by one-celled zygote. So there is one-celled zygote in body. There are no free-living sporophytes. So in haploid organisms, there are no free-living sporophytes. Sporophyte is the main body. Meiosis in the zygote results in formation of haploid spores. So in this chart you can see that the pink color means mostly they are in haploid stage and only they are diploid in zygote stage. Embryogenesis. The process of development of embryo from zygote is called embryogenesis. So zygote undergoes cell division by mitosis in most organisms and cell differentiation. So two processes take place in zygotes. In cell division, what is the importance? It increases the number of cell in developing embryo. While cell differentiation, it helps group of cells to undergo modification to form spatial tissues. So the cells which are increasing in number, they undergo modification and form spatial tissues and organs for the future organism. Oviparous animals. So after fertilization, the eggs are covered by a hard calcareous or calcium carbonate shell in some animals, and they are laid in a safe place in environment. So eggs are laid outside body. After a period of incubation, young ones hatch out. So the young ones hatch out or come out after a certain period called incubation. Now what is incubation? It is a period in which the parent provides a certain temperature for development of embryo. You might have seen that birds or hen, they sit on their eggs for some time. Example of oviparous are reptiles and birds. Viviparous animals. The zygote develops into a young one inside the body of female organism. So the zygote develops inside the body of mother. After attaining a certain stage of growth, young ones are delivered out of body of female organism. So the young ones are delivered out. So they do not produce eggs, but they produce young ones. Example is most mammals like human beings. In this figure we can see incubation. So chick, it has incubation period of 15 days. In this figure we can see oviparous animals and viviparous. So oviparous, one of the example is crocodile, then snake, ducks, turtle, stork, hen. And viviparous, cow, cat, dog, donkey, giraffe and monkey. So mostly mammals. Now there is advantage of viviparous condition. It is that survival chances are greater because of proper embryonic care and protection. So we know since the young one is produced, so there is more protection, while the eggs, because they are laid outside body, they are less protected. So which condition is better? Viviparous. Now if we look at plants, in flowering plants the zygote is formed inside the ovule or the female part. After fertilization, sepals, petals and stamens of flower wither and fall off. So they dry and fall off. But we see that in some plants, sepals or the green part remain attached even after fertilization. Example is chili, brinjal and tomato. In this figure you can see that in tomato the green structures which are attached, they are sepals. They are persistent. Persistent means they always remain. And in chili also, the pistil remains attached to the plant. So after fertilization, the pistil remains attached to the plant. The zygote develops into the embryo. So zygote develops into embryo in future. Ovules develop into seed. The ovary, it develops into a fruit, and the ovary wall develops to become thick wall. It is called pericarp and its function is protective. After dispersal, seeds germinate under favorable conditions to produce new plants. So we see that after dispersal, dispersal is release of seed from the plant. The seeds germinate when they get favorable condition. Favorable condition like water, air, soil, minerals. They produce a new plant. Now in this figure we can see kinds of fruits showing seeds and pericarp. Different fruits have been shown. For example, the first one on left hand side, it is pea. Two parts have been labeled S and P. Now what is S? It is a seed. And what is P? It is pericarp. So in board exams, this question is asked. One of the figure will be shown and it will be asked what is S and what is P and what is their function. So can you guess? Yes. The function of seed is that it contains embryo which will produce new plant, and the function of P or pericarp is protection. Okay children, so now we complete this chapter. Thanks.